What often gets lost in the noise around Prince Harry and Meghan Markle is the very human reality at the centre of this story. Behind the titles, the headlines, and the legal arguments is a family navigating distance, change, and unresolved pain. At the heart of it all is a grandfather who, by all accounts, deeply loves his grandchildren, and a father who is trying to protect his own children in a world that has proven, time and again, to be hostile and unforgiving. King Charles is widely described as a devoted family man. Those close to him have often spoken about the joy he takes in his role as a grandfather, particularly with Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Images and reports over the years have painted a picture of a warm, engaged grandparent who delights in spending time with the younger generation. It is clear that family for Charles has always been a source of emotional grounding, even amid the pressures of royal duty. That is precisely why the absence of Archie and Lilibet from his day-to-day life is so poignant. These are his grandchildren too, and yet geography, circumstance, and unresolved institutional issues have kept them physically apart. While it is likely that Charles has seen Archie and Lilibet through video calls and shared moments from afar, there is no real substitute for being able to sit in the same room, to watch children grow in real time, to share ordinary moments that become lifelong memories. For any grandparent, that kind of distance is painful. It is not about favoritism or comparison. It is about the simple human longing to know your grandchildren, to be present for them, and to build a bond that can only truly flourish face to face. The fact that Archie and Lilibet have not been to the UK since 2022 only sharpens that sense of loss. What must be emphasised, though, is why this distance exists. It is not because Harry and Meghan are withholding their children out of spite or indifference. It is not about leverage or emotional games. It is, quite plainly, about safety. Prince Harry has been unwaveringly clear that his primary responsibility is to protect his wife and children, especially given the very real threats and intense scrutiny they face. Harry's concerns about security are not abstract or hypothetical. They are rooted in the lived experience, shaped by trauma, and informed by a lifetime of understanding how vulnerable members of his family can be when protection is withdrawn. His mother's death casts a long shadow, and it would be irresponsible to dismiss how profoundly that loss informs his decisions as a father. The belief that a security review could address these concerns is significant. It suggests that there may be a pathway forward, one that allows Harry to feel confident enough to bring his family to the UK without fear. That confidence is not a luxury, it is a necessity. No parent would willingly place their children in a situation they believe to be unsafe, no matter how important the emotional stakes may be. From this perspective, Harry's position becomes not only understandable, but deeply relatable. He is not rejecting his homeland. He is not punishing his father. He is doing what millions of parents do every day, prioritizing the well-being of their children above all else. That choice should not be framed as obstinacy or bitterness. It should be recognized as responsible parenting. It is also important to acknowledge that Harry's relationship with King Charles is believed to be improving. Recent interactions and reports suggest that there has been progress, that conversations are happening, and that there is a shared desire to move forward. That alone speaks volumes about Harry's willingness to rebuild bridges and to heal old wounds. However, emotional healing within a family is rarely complete when key members are absent. For Harry, the idea of reconciliation cannot be separated from his role as a husband and father. A relationship with his father that excludes Meghan, Archie and Lilibet would always feel partial, incomplete and unsustainable. True reconciliation, in his eyes, means his entire family being accepted, protected and respected. Meghan's role in this narrative is often unfairly distorted, yet her position is equally grounded in reason and care. As a mother, she shares Harry's concerns and priorities. As someone who has experienced intense media hostility and invasive scrutiny, she understands the risks all too well. Her absence from the UK since 2022 is not an act of defiance. It is a reflection of unresolved issues that have yet to be meaningfully addressed. The idea that only Harry and Meghan can make a reunion happen oversimplifies the situation. Yes, they are the parents, and their consent is essential. But the conditions under which such a reunion would occur matter immensely. Security, respect, and genuine goodwill are not optional extras. They are foundational requirements. When commentators suggest that Harry simply needs to bring his children to the UK to restore harmony, they ignore the power dynamics at play. They overlook the fact that Harry no longer has control over his own security arrangements in his home country. They gloss over the legal battles he has undertaken precisely because he believes the current situation leaves his family exposed. If anything, Harry's stance underscores his integrity. He is not asking for privilege. He is asking for protection. He is not demanding special treatment for its own sake. He is advocating for his children to have the same basic safety any public figure's family would reasonably expect. From King Charles's perspective, the longing to see Archie and Lilibet is entirely understandable. As a grandfather, he would naturally wish for a relationship with all his grandchildren, regardless of where they live. That desire speaks to his humanity and his capacity for love beyond the confines of protocol. Yet it is equally fair to say that this situation is not solely in Harry's hands. Institutional decisions, government policies, and unresolved grievances all play a role. If there is a genuine desire to bring the family closer together, then addressing Harry's security concerns would be one of the most meaningful steps forward. Prince Harry is set for another busy year, with international travel and ongoing commitments tied to his charitable and advocacy work. He has built a life in America, one rooted in purpose, stability, and family. That does not negate his connection to the UK. It simply reflects the reality of where he feels his children are safest and most at peace. His last trip to the UK is believed to have helped build bridges with his father, showing that dialogue is possible and that progress can be made. That progress, however, is fragile. It cannot be sustained if it asks Harry to compartmentalize his life, to engage as a son while leaving his identity as a father at the door. The notion that bringing Archie and Lilibet to the UK is the single key to restoring harmony places an unfair burden on Harry. It suggests that the responsibility for healing lies solely with him, rather than being shared among all parties involved. True reconciliation is collaborative. It requires empathy, compromise, and a willingness to address uncomfortable truths. What often goes unsaid is that Harry is not denying his children a relationship with their grandfather. He is delaying physical proximity until he can be assured of their safety. That distinction matters. It reframes the narrative from one of withholding to one of protection. For King Charles, the best possible outcome would be one where his relationship with Harry continues to improve, and where he is able to welcome Meghan, Archie and Lilibet into his life without fear or tension. That scenario benefits everyone. It strengthens family bonds, models reconciliation, and offers a sense of closure after years of strain. For Harry and Meghan, such an outcome would require tangible change, not just warm words. It would require assurances that their children will be protected, that boundaries will be respected, and that past mistakes will not be repeated. These are not unreasonable expectations. They are the bare minimum any parent would ask for. The public often forgets that Archie and Lilibet are still very young. These formative years matter. The environments they are exposed to, the stress levels around them, and the sense of security they feel will shape who they become. Harry and Meghan are acutely aware of this, and every decision they make is filtered through that lens. As time passes, the hope remains that solutions can be found, that security concerns can be addressed, that trust can be rebuilt not just between father and son, but across the wider family structure. When that happens, the physical distance that has caused so much heartache may finally begin to close. Until then, it is important to approach this story with compassion rather than judgment. To recognize that there are no villains here, only people grappling with complex realities and deeply felt emotions. Harry's insistence on safety is not an obstacle to reconciliation. It is a prerequisite for it. In the end, the best scenario for everyone is one where love, understanding and responsibility align. Where King Charles can enjoy a meaningful relationship with all his grandchildren. Where Harry can return to the UK with his family without fear. And where Meghan can feel confident that her children are protected and respected. That outcome is still possible. It requires patience, humility, and action. And when it does arrive, it will not be because one side gave in, but because all sides chose to put family first, in a way that truly honours the well-being of the youngest and most vulnerable among them.